It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and we've got the latest chapter of a historic rivalry. It's the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday night.
Opened back in 2003, have a look at the link. Lincoln Financial Field, where 70,000 are rocking and ready to go in Philadelphia. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn. Happy to be with you. And CD, as we get this thing going, give the folks at home something to keep their eye on.
The running game for both teams, because I think this is going to be an old-fashioned, old-school type of a game. Physical, who wins up front, who runs the ball the best and controls the clock, they will come out the victor.
Here's the former Utah Ute, Matt Gay, to get this one started. And off we go from Lincoln Financial Field. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. Philly's offense getting ready, and Jalen Hurts ready to lead them. The second-round pick who started his career at Alabama, then finished with an electric senior season at Oklahoma.
Tremendous production in college at two different universities, and this is a guy who was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. Still much more of a runner than a thrower, but has plenty of arm and is capable of making the big throws downfield. And don't underestimate his ability to think the game. Remember, he's the son of a coach.
And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That one goes for 24 yards. Boy, an effective play there, getting their wideouts involved in the run game.
And what they're always hoping on that type of a play, that they can get to the end of the line and have a chance to turn it upfield as he did there. That means they controlled the blocking and took care of the defensive end or the outside linebacker to give him that lane.
And I guess I need to clarify, I said getting their wideouts involved in the run game, but of course that was actually a pass as he popped it forward. No gain on the play there, second down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Now a 2nd and 10. Hurts. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
An incomplete pass on second down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Hurts sets up to throw it. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Marshawn Lattimore right there on the coverage. He was draped all over him.
Well, how about the challenge we're seeing here in this game early? Man coverage against some fleet receivers. That time, the defense won.
Here's Jake Elliott. Career long, by the way, for him, 61 yards. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is going to wind up left. Well struck, but it's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Partner doesn't seem like it, but that's a tough spot for a kicker. First drive of the game, and they're calling on him. He should be warmed up. He should be into the game, but sometimes it's almost like, oh, what, now already? Can't they put it in the end zone? What's going on here?
Yeah, he's probably saying, if you can't get it in the end zone, can you give me a 30, 40-yarder? A long one, and he can't connect. They find some open field here. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 31 yards there and a first down.
Now that's a big-time run. Lightning in a bottle, forget it. He exploded out of the bottle for that type of a pickup.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Play action, now it's Daniels. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Brown. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it's 2nd down. Robinson up the middle. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
Now we get a stoppage because, as you can see, a member of the Commanders in some obvious discomfort. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Third and 2. Throwing now is Daniels. That is caught.
And so close. He gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a sharp throw right there on third down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want it to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hook up and set up a 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 1. Eckler diving for the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown.
Sometimes offenses can get too cute down near the goal line, but there's nothing fancy about this one. As Coach Lombardi would say, we get a seal here, and we get a seal here, and we run this play in the alley. And that's good work to hit the hole hard and finish in the end zone.
Matt Gay on for the extra point.
And the kick is good, and the Commanders out to a 7-0 lead.
5 plays there on that drive.
And it's Austin Eckler who finishes things off with a touchdown run.
After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
So back onto the field here come the Eagles for their 2nd drive. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Yeah, get a little closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Throwing is Hurts. Open man, that's Devontae Smith.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage afterwards.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Here's Hurts to throw.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. Steps away. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes for him moving forward.
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on first down, holding them to a short gain.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
It'll be Hurts on the option.
And he probably should have given that one off, as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
No question, he's so dangerous down here near the goal line. The safeties, they have to be involved in run support against a quarterback like this, and in turn, they're going to ask their teammates to be involved as well.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Forced out to his left. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown.
Jalen Hurts.
A 5-yard touchdown run.
And the Eagles are an extra point away from evening this one up.
This is a great decision right here. Out of the pocket to his left, and he knows if he waits too long, the defense is going to be all over him. So he makes a decision to go and wins the race to the pylon.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Commanders going to retake the field for drive number 2. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. And he's got McCaffrey open, complete. 2 yards on the pickup there, and it's 2nd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
From the 43, here's a 2nd and 8. Here's Daniels.
Over the middle here to Brown. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that will bring up 3rd and 1.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They'll try to pick up the first with Eckler. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 8 yards there on a 1st down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
First down, and they stick with Eckler. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The job of any linebacker involves having enough strength to fight off a blocker and get to ball carriers. But in this case, I think we can safely say he beat him right off the snap to get into the backfield and make that play.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Once more, here's Eckler. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down.
Now Daniels. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 15-yard line. These two teams all tied after one.
Now Washington with the football here to begin quarter number 2.
As they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Samuel going to go in motion right. To throw is Daniels.
And he's wrapped up. Taken down. Back at the 25.
Buried behind the line by Azeez Ojulari.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Eckler now between the tackles. And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. A pickup of 7 there, but they'll still have 12 yards to go on 3rd down.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination line.
Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29.
That's big Jordan Davis powering in to drop him. So this defense, they gave up some yards on this drive, but bottom line, they came up with a sack when it mattered.
And we know that every down counts, but let's be honest about it. People focus on 3rd down as a real key down in any drive, any situation. And they took full advantage of 3rd down there and made a play.
Matt Gay now gets ready for the field goal try. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. And Gay knocks this one through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a play action, and throw one deep.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Fights loose. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 14 yards there and an Eagle first down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
So a solid run by Saquon Barkley and another 1st and 10 here. They're going to look to throw. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Another try after the first down sack. Hurts. And that one going to be off target and incomplete. So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position, you have to be. You just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something wrong with the ball. It is not you. Keep throwing. That timing usually develops.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Smith catches left side. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And it'll be 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
On 4th down, punt coming from Braden Mann.
It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return.
And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. The Washington offense set to take over.
And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gas,
yeah,
right?
A little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield, only giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
Throws the out route and completes it to Samuel.
And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there.
A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Ball on the 39. Here's 2nd and 5. Now a give running left is Eckler. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
Well, how many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice game.
And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Daniels looking to throw. He'll drop this one off to Eckler.
And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. Short completion, just 4 yards. And now that sets up 3rd and 2.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the 1st here. On 3rd down, here's Eckler.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. From the shotgun, it's Daniels. This to McLaurin out on the left side. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 14. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Working out of the gun, Daniels. Throwing it Terry McLaurin's way again, and he's got it. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Ball at the 6 here as they work with a 2nd and 2. To the air goes Daniels. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Again, he'll drop to throw. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Matt Gay now gets ready for the field goal try. From the left hash, a 31-yard attempt. Gay's kick is good. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the 2 teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
After the made field goal, Gay back out there to kick it off. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback. And we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. The Eagles offense going to take over late in this first half. A slim deficit here in a 1-possession game. Not much time left, obviously. We'll see if they can march this down the field, at least get 3 and take some momentum into the locker room. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. From the gun, it's Hurts. He's got Dallas Goedert, his tight end over the middle. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Kind of a dangerous throw there. He's off balance when he gets rid of it. But this is all about a quarterback knowing what he can get away with. And that time, it turns into a completion and a healthy gain as well.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now back to throw.
A throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw.
That one downfield for Dotson.
And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
And that's off the right upright, and it bounces away, no good. And the deficit will stay at 2 field goals.
Yeah, 55 yards is anything but a gimme. You got to really concentrate on your leg swing and proper technique. This time, though, he's unable to convert.
He's going deep for Brown.
That is incomplete.
So we are at halftime here on a Monday night. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We were certainly treated to an entertaining first half. Both these teams with some high points and maybe a couple of low points as well. So it's going to be a question of who can be the most disciplined team going forward.
Okay, Coach. Yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this 3rd quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Here come the Commanders for the first possession of the 3rd quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
On 2nd down, here's the option.
And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
Boy, the pursuit there, terrific from the linebacking core.
Oh, it certainly was, because so many times on an option play, you'll see a linebacker make a beeline for the quarterback and then zip, one cut, and he's grasping at air. But this time, he locked in on him the whole way, took an excellent angle, and his grasp came up with the quarterback.
And he's going to have a Commanders 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Looking to throw. Daniels. Caught by the tight end, Ertz. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And now we've got a 3rd down and 3.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Back to throw. Daniels working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to have a Commander's 1st down, and he's going to have it by plenty. Able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up.
That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Well, good hands there defensively. That's 2nd down.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. 2 catches in the 1st half. Now he's got a 3rd here, and it's good for a 1st.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Robinson gets the toss on the right side.
Able to power through. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. And that's a gain of 6 on the 1st down run.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
This 2nd and 4. Throwing now is Daniels.
To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Whistles and a stoppage here. Looks like one of the Eagles is in some discomfort out there. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Looking to throw. Daniels.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
In the red zone, precision is the watchword. If the throw's a little too early, too late, maybe off a little bit, going to be a good chance that any attempt is going to be a contested one, and that one falls incomplete.
And Gay knocks this one through. And now it's a 2-score game at 9, 16-7. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. All things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. Happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the 3rd quarter.
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line.
So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the 2nd half.
And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the 2nd half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
Jonathan Jones there to make the stop.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They'll run it again with Barkley. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll try and pick it up by running the option to the right. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
And this is one of those plays that if you can use it to keep the chains moving, it's a good play. And not only that, it tends to tamp down the pass rushers because they have to recognize this play and stay at home. The quarterback uses it well. Read option, keeps it, and picks up a 1st down with some nice running.
A 1st down carry for Barkley. And he put up a good fight, but he's going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the 1st half. And that trend is continuing here.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Barkley inside handoff. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long.
3rd and 12. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts.
Rolling to his left. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45.
Hurts dangerous when he runs that football. He's got a 1st.
He's been making himself a weapon as a runner, and the results, they've been welcomed by his offense. My question is about the defense we're watching right now, partner. Even after he got him with a scramble earlier this drive, they still aren't devoting enough attention to him. I would expect that after that carry, they'll do a much better job going forward, spying on him on passing downs.
Up the middle with Barkley. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
Well, they're hoping that the 2nd half is better for him than the 1st half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
From the 38 now, here's a 2nd and 5.
Out of the shotgun, they run with Barkley. And he'll take this one down to the 36.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. Here comes play number 9 now as they come up on a 3rd and 3.
Hurts sets up to throw it.
Escaping the pressure right. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Remember, Brandon, he ran for a touchdown earlier, so his decision to go ahead and tuck it and go again turned out to be a wise one.
And the decision is what is important here. He has made some good decisions on when to tuck it and go.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Here's a give to Barkley. Showed off the toughness, but still corralled shy of the 5 at the 6.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This will be 3rd and 6.
Hurts. Open man, he's got him. That's Smith for the Philadelphia touchdown.
It's a 6-yard touchdown pass.
And the Eagles have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th.
Well, time to let those folks know who are tuning in looking for the late local news. And we may be a moment because we've got a game again.
And partner, except for those on the West Coast where it'll be seen in its regular time, right? That's the way it works, doesn't it? But how about that? Big time drive right there. If they're going to have any chance, they needed a touchdown there, and they went right down the field and worked their way into the end zone.
Elliott good with a PAT. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. That last touchdown has made this really tight. They're clinging now to this slim lead. Second half, they only have a field goal. This offense needs to kick it into gear.
And right now, I'm looking directly at the field general, at the quarterback, which to me, he's got to take over right now. By word, pumping his team up, and then, of course, by deed with his play. My high school coach used to say that all the time. Laddie, take over by word and deed.
And deed means action.
Exactly.
2nd and 10.
Operating from the gun, Daniels. That's complete to his receiver, McLaurin. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Robinson will try to pick it up.
And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
50 yards rushing for him now to this point.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Now they run the option on 2nd down.
And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so he didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Here comes 3rd and the length of the football. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. 10 yards there, good for a Washington first down.
This has been a tremendous drive to this point, and this is all you want, playing with a lead in the 4th quarter. If you can keep the ball on the ground, keep the sticks moving, you're going to be in good shape to finish this one off.
Back to Robinson now on first down.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. Again, it's Robinson. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bring up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go.
And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. That'll be out of bounds, and how good was that? They'll say the 3-yard line. That's where they spot it. The Eagles offense and Jalen Hurts ready to take over once more. And this defense has got to be at its wits' end, trying to come up with ways to keep him contained. He's had so many opportunities to tuck it and go, and he's turned a number of those opportunities into big plays. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
And that run there does nothing but juice up the guys who are moving the football. I mean, if you're an offensive lineman, people running it, actually the guy calling plays, you're almost jumping up and down in jubilation, aren't you?
Yeah, now you've got options on second down.
And big-time options. You might want to think about play action and try and get something cheap right here over the top.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Not too many more ideal situations in 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
Throwing is Hurts. Throwing for Smith on the out route, and it's caught. And he'll be out of bounds right around the 20. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that'll make it second down. Here's Hurts to throw. Oh, some strong running. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
And this is a rarity in the NFL, a 100-yard game on the ground for a quarterback. Even as those passers get more athletic and mobile, we only see about 5 of these a season. It takes a special set of circumstances for it to happen, and, of course, a special player.
A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw.
Got this complete to Jahan Dotson.
Touchdown, Philadelphia!
Jahan Dotson.
53 yards.
And the Eagles use the defensive breakdown to take the lead away here in the 4th.
There it is, partner. You see it. 4 fingers. What does that mean?
4 fingers. That signifies the 4th quarter's here.
That's right. Who's going to dominate? Usually both teams are holding them up. We own the 4th quarter, what we found out so far. 2 touchdowns here, and now they've taken the lead.
Yeah, second one putting them in front. You know what I see on the other sideline, though? It seems like they've tensed up, had that lead. They were playing not to lose it, and they've lost it.
That's a great observation. When you play not to lose, you usually don't win.
Now, though, they'll have the opportunity to respond. Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead is up to 5. Now, after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Now Washington down by 5. A little under 2.5 to go. Plenty of time here. They've got 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning as they've got it 1st and 10. Open man is Samuel, complete. And down he goes, but he takes it.
And that's a good start right there. This game has changed pretty dramatically in the last few minutes. So now these guys are forced to play from behind here. And that's a positive first step towards claiming this lead right back.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Washington with the football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
He'll look to throw. And that's complete to Brown. What a big tackle there defensively.
One of the most difficult things for a defender to do, and think about the speed that he brought down. If he gets away, he's likely gone.
Well, you don't have to beg the Philly faithful to make noise. On their feet for 3rd down.
He's back to throw.
That is caught. And he is going to get out of bounds with the 1st down, so that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the 1st and save a timeout.
Well, they got the yardage they needed there, picked up the 1st down, got out of bounds. How about the urgency that they have, as well as the understanding where they are on the field?
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. Now Daniels going to give it up on the touch pass.
And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41.
They'll come up now. 2nd and 9.
Back to throw.
Room to maneuver at the 35.
And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 30. Now a timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game.
Here's 1st down.
They'll look to throw. This is Ertz on the pitch and catch.
Now the Commanders going to burn the 2nd of their timeouts
as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the 4th.
Here's 2nd down and 3.
Back to throw.
Throws the out route and completes it to Samuel. Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout
as the clock will stop with 45 seconds left to go in the game.
Final minute. No timeouts at their disposal. Here's 1st and 10. Now Daniels.
It's complete to Brown, right side.
And the Commanders are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
This is where hustle and urgency come into play. I think you've got to get up there and spike it.
Now 1st and goal. To the air goes Daniels.
And he's got it. It's caught for a touchdown. And they have taken the lead here in the final seconds.
Charles, that drive was perfect, methodical, executed so well, and they grabbed that lead with almost no time left for a last gasp from the other side.
No way you could have drawn up a better final drive, because not only did they keep their eyes on the end zone, they made sure they bled the clock out as well and denied their opponent a chance to respond. That's just terrific situational football to end this one.
And he'll get into the end zone. So now a field goal would only tie as they've upped their lead to 3. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. Taken at the goal line. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. This is 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's going to let it fly. It's caught inside the 25. And he's a long ways into Washington territory before hitting the turf.
Well, it took us until the final play, Charles, to officially decide a winner. Although on that last play they were so backed up, it would have taken a miracle, and they couldn't get that miracle done.
Well, I like how you stayed with it because we both knew that this had to go down to the last play, and neither side was going to exhale until that play concluded because we've seen the improbable before. A couple of laterals, maybe some poor defense on the back end. They might have gone all the way to the end zone. In this case, though, it didn't happen. Perhaps next time.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. From Philadelphia, good night, everybody.